Welcome, everybody, to Drive to Spin, the 2023 season kickoff. You have myself, Peter, and Dion Thomas here, and we're going to run through with you what the season's what to expect next year. Now, for next year, some important things that we want to make everyone aware of. Anyone can pair with anyone next year. However, if you finish in the top 5 and you want to pair with another top 5 driver, no assists will be allowed. This will, I should note, also be closely monitored by the FIA. All constructor teams are up for grabs, so it'll be purely based on where you finish. No one is safe in their current team. So the results in this year's season will heavily affect next season. Some more details will come. We also have a new website, drivetospin.com.au. So make sure you click it out. After every race, we will update the driver standings, the race results, and the constructors' points. Now, Dion's going to explain to all of you how your driver value will be affected next year.
Thanks, Peter. So, driver value is a vital part for next year's season and how the trade period will be judged and what influence that plays on the 2024 season. Now, to give you an example, what we've tried to do is place emphasis on where you finish based on the previous year and previous year's value. So let's take two examples here. We got Alvi, who finished first, who's worth 24 million, and Vinny, who finished 20th, but he's worth 100,000 or $0.1 million. Now, let's say, for instance, Alvi finishes first in round 1. His driver value is only going to increase by 0.1 of a million because simply we expect him to finish first. Now, if he finished 20th, his driver value is going to decrease by 2.3 million every time he finishes 20th. But if he finishes third, his driver value will only decrease by 0.2 million. Now, on the opposite side of things, if Vinny finishes 20th, because he finished 20th last year, we expect him to finish 20th or last. His driver value is still going to increase by 0.1 million. Again, that's because we expect him to finish 20th. But by some miracle, he does finish first. His driver value is going to increase by $0.1 million every time he finishes first. Now, it's probably highly unlikely, but in the event that he does, that's what it would increase. And you can see it's relative to where you finished last year. So if Albi finishes first, it only goes up by 0.1. If Vinny finishes first, it goes up by 1 million. Now, if Vinny finishes 10th, it'll only go up by 0.5 million. Again, because it's relative to where he finished first. So it's kind of like in real life. If Lewis Hamilton kept finishing last, his perceived value is going to decrease. So it's trying to mimic that type of thing. So that's kind of how the driver values will increase based on where you finish in each round and how much it'll increase and decrease by. So really what you want to do better than what you did last year or as good as what you did last year. So there it is.
Yeah, and that'll either affect how your prospects next year, I guess, who you can be paired with and what team you can choose.
Correct. That's right.
So if a driver, it's not based on the circuit, it's just purely based round by round, correct?
Round by round and how you finish in each round.
Yeah. Awesome. So that should really mix things up, and hopefully we can see some movement in the driver values.
That's right.
Now, Dion, talk us through these preseason results. So this is our season. We had, I think it was 7, 8 rounds.
I think 8 rounds, something like that. But
Eight rounds.
not everyone participated. It is preseason, so probably the reason why I finished on top. But Andre put up a pretty good fight. So did Greg and Jensen in the house. So it was interesting, but again, not everyone participated. So it'll be interesting to see where everyone finishes up next year. The game is vastly different to what it was the year before. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, do you think those that maybe didn't practice or participate might struggle a bit early on?
I think so. I think there'll be a few races where they'll be getting used to the physics and how the car handles. Um, compared to last year. So I think they've done themselves a little bit of a disservice heading into this year's season. But we'll see. Time will tell.
And as we found out, we had a lot of tracks in the wet. So make sure you practice in the wet.
That's right. Yeah, that plays a big, big part. I guess if you're Johnny, you're going to be all right. But for the rest of us, you definitely do some practicing in the wet.
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, the Haas boys are looking promising.
They
They've
are.
got a good team there, but they were very consistent, showing up to the preseason. So let's have a look at the constructors. And yeah, we probably wouldn't expect anything different here. Red Bull way out in front.
That's right. But I'm really looking forward to the Constructor Championship this year because, as you know, we're all paired with equally or people we want to be with the trade period last year. So I think the Constructor Championships is going to be something to look at this year. You know, last year we sort of started Drive to Spin. We were just sort of somewhat randomly paired with another person. But this year, you know, there's been some thought, there's been some process into who we pair with. So yeah, this one's going to play just as equal a part in the driver championships this year. So I'm excited for the constructors to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it should be a great battle there, and everyone make sure that you log on before the season starts. If you can't race in the first race, that's okay, but make sure you log on and select your team.
That's
because
right.
what happens, Dion?
You'll get automatically or randomly assigned to a team, potentially not of
Yes,
your choice.
your choice. Yeah. So even if you can't race, please log on, select your team, and you'll be good for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Now, Dion, before we wrap it up, what are you wearing? This looks, dare I say, sexy.
Yep. Drive to Spin. Can you see?
Yes. Yeah. So for those of you who ordered t-shirts, they have arrived, and they'll be distributed shortly. So yeah, looking forward to the season. And yeah, anything
Cool.
else you want to wrap up with there?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, we will see you on the track.